children of the night. What music they sing.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's that?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you with it.
Come on, baby, light my fire. Try to set the night on fire.
Wow.
Freebird.
Play it again, Sam.
Welcome to the fiery episode of Final Guys, where we will take on the new version of Firestarter. Arrgh. With me are my flaming hosts, Hunter Shea and Jason Brandt. What's up?
What a very beautiful intro, Jack. Thank you.
Yeah, fiery episode. I was thinking like tepid, maybe.
I've got
Already
all kinds of fire
extinguished.
here. I got butane fire. I got fire. We're gonna light this mother up.
I don't
Fire,
have any.
fire.
I do have poop stickers someone sent me.
Ooh.
Out of love.
I don't know. A package right after that had a bunch of Kraft single cheese in it. So
You know, there's always that like legend of people lighting a bag of poo on fire and ringing the doorbell and running. Hunter, you strike me as somebody that actually might have done that.
I
did.
have done that a few times. See,
it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Just
the
burns
ball once the
house
bag
down.
goes out.
Well, and nobody comes out and just starts stomping on a bag on their porch. Like it doesn't work.
No, they just wake up to a hot poo later.
And they come out. I had one guy looked at it and he was like dumb fucking kids or something like that. He didn't give a shit.
Well, let's put our conversation about steaming piles of hot poo on the side till we get to the main feature tonight.
Spoiler alert.
We should have had Chad on.
Yeah,
Yes.
he drew a line in the sand. He's like, I'm not watching that. I'm gonna read the book. It's like, okay,
Smart man.
All right. So, anything to report before we get moving? And what are the drinking words?
I have nothing to report, and I'll do the drinking words.
I have nothing.
All right. I just want to give a thank you to everyone in the chat right now. Steve Barnard, by the way, thank you for the review for To the Devil Are Cryptid. Just saw it. Tina, Shoshana. Who else we got in here? Sheila, Devin, George,
Vanilla
Jabra
Faces.
Caroni. The Vanilla Faces are here, baby. We're here for you. And we're here to give you drinking words. The words that we say that you never drink to. So here we go. Jack, your words tonight are fire, carpenter, and original. Take a shot. Mine are peacock, Drew, and effects. Jason's are psychic, Barrymore, and shop. And the bonus words, if any of us say Efron, Charlie, or King, imbibe.
Well
So there you go.
Cheers.
It's hard to be excited right now for this.
Well, let's just be excited to be together.
Okay, you're right.
I
You're
got-
right. I'm in your presence.
I
Oh,
got some
Screwball.
screwball whiskey.
Oh no, dude.
Exactly 5 years and 1 day ago, we started this show. This is 5 years and 1 day old. Happy birthday to us.
Yeah, I could have brought a beer up, but I guess I didn't.
Oh, we got Dan here. It's 2:00 in the morning. He's in bed and it's live. It's a special night.
Damn.
Are you touching it, Dan, while you listen
Wow.
to our dulcet tones?
Okay. Frederick?
Say that last name.
I'm not gonna.
Maison Nueve. That's what I'm going to go for. So, yeah, we got some peeps here. There's pressure. They must have known it was our 5-year anniversary, even though we didn't know it, so we started the show.
You're gonna be shocked to hear that Tina Trumeyer liked the movie.
We should have had her on this time. For sure. We missed
Send
an
her the link.
opportunity. Exactly. Jump on right now.
Okay. Why don't we go to the greatest segment of all time, the news?
It's the news. Yay.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Welcome to news.
You see my degree from the University of Beijing?
Hunter,
Yes.
quick quiz.
Mhm.
At Chiller Theater, who was one of the nicest people we ever met out of all the celebrities we've ever met?
The nicest?
I'm going to say one of the nicest, if not the nicest.
The guy who played Charlie Brown. Well, he was the drunkest,
That
the
was
most
the
fun,
creepest.
maybe.
That guy just died.
He did. God, you know what?
I'll give you a hint.
Yes,
You want
give
a
me
hint?
please. Yes.
Your wife was very happy.
Lou Ferrigno.
Lou Ferrigno. You're exactly right.
Fuck you, Lou Ferrigno.
Incredible Hulk himself. This is one of the greatest lead-off stories we've ever had. Lou Ferrigno is going to be playing a cannibal pig farmer in a horror movie called The Hermit.
Oh my God. I need this in my life.
Murderous cannibal pig farmer.
I totally have to watch this movie.
He's
I don't
a
care
loner.
if it has negative Rotten Tomatoes.
The Hermit's
I'll just
story
buy
is
it.
he's a loner. His mother has protected him, kept him in the forest. He doesn't speak well because they're kind of feral people. What does the Hermit do with his victim? Well, he turns them into tasty jerky.
Wow.
I'm in.
So, Lou Ferrigno in Motel Hell.
That's what I thought. It's the incredible Motel Hell.
I love me some Lou Ferrigno.
Is there a date for this?
No, not yet.
His cameo in I Love You Man is just hysterical.
When my wife met him and was just like, could barely
Flabbergasted.
function, I started to be an asshole because he was selling like some book, and I go, "Hey, you got a lot of King of Queens in there?" And he just looked at me, "Oh yeah, right on page 85." I'm like, "Fuck, just trying to be a jerk."
Somewhere in
really
my
care.
pile here, I have his autograph from that day too.
That was funny.
When did you meet him? 2000s?
It was
Yeah, this is
10 years ago,
at
maybe
least
even
10
more
years
than that.
ago.
I'm
Might
sure
be
he was
more.
still super jacked.
Oh yeah, he's good. I shook his hand, and the thing is, he doesn't have that like pretentious. I'm going to show you how strong my grip is. He was a very gentle handshaker
Well, yeah, he's aware.
because he
I'm
knew he
gonna
would
hurt
crush
this
my
guy.
weak little paws into dust.
So you
Like,
gave him the firm but not asshole
Yes,
handshake.
like the guy who played Norma Bates's brother on Bates Motel. Remember when I arm wrestled him? Were you in there for that?
I was not there for that.
So he does a thing where my daughter, we all love Bates Motel.
yeah.
My daughter wanted his autograph. So he goes, "Yeah, all right." He goes, "If you want to arm wrestle me, if you beat me, you get it for free." And I was like, "Shit, yeah, I'll arm wrestle you." He's not that big. He almost tore my arm off. And then I find out he was an arm wrestling champion for like a decade. And I had to pay $40 that I
Smooth.
didn't want to pay. Yeah.
I mean, that's 101, man. If somebody is there challenging people to arm wrestling,
Yeah. But you know, I had my beer balls on. I was
Yeah.
ready.
Then you had to have elbow surgery after that.
Oh, we have a video of it. It was like less than a second. And everything I heard tendons start to snap. I was like, God damn it. I walked away with my backpack.
Woo woo! Time for the second piece of news.
Is this a new thing? You should do this every time between these segments.
What's our new favorite original content creator for horror movies? Of course, it's Tubi.
A24. Oh,
Tubi.
yes. I'm thinking production houses.
The trailer has dropped for the October release of a Terror Train remake featuring a clown killing people on a train. Looks
Tubi
like there's
original?
a costume party on the train.
Right. Huh.
Tubi
Will it
original
have
now.
David Copperfield? He
Will
he
it-
probably still looks the same with all that surgery.
Will it have any of the ghosts from the Titanic?
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, so far their track record isn't so good, but
I have not seen Terror Train since the 80s, so I don't remember a whole lot about it, except for the terror on the train.
it was
Yeah.
on Shudder. That's
don't
Jamie Lee
remember it.
Curtis.
I hope this isn't the Asylum again.
I
'Cause that's
hope
who
it
made
is.
that Titanic movie.
I hope it's Asylum and Gravitas combining their forces to bring us the best.
Yeah, I don't have any of that. Any thoughts on the original Terror Train? Fans care
I
less?
really like the original Terror Train.
Zero recollection of it.
As Tim Meyer might say, I really am a fan of the
It's
horror on a train.
It's 40 years old, so I will tell you, the magician did it. So there, I've spoiled it for everybody.
Son of a bitch.
Never trust a magician.
No, never.
Bill Bixby was in a TV show called The Magician before The Incredible Hulk.
And my mother, the car, I think.
Dun, 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 dun. Last piece of news is awesome.
Woo woo!
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh no.
On the Isle of Martha's Vineyard, we now have a new police chief. The police chief is Jonathan Searle, who was in Jaws. He was one of the kids with the cardboard fin. He made me do it. He was one of those two
Oh,
kids.
wow.
He is now all grown up and is now the sheriff of Oaks Bluff or Oak Bluffs.
Like in real life?
In real life.
Oh, that's kind of a neat.
Oh, I'm thinking this is a movie.
No,
Yeah,
this is a
that's-
real thing. The guy, now the
That's
Kinder
amazing.
boy was at Scares the Care.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
not the sheriff, obviously. This guy, he's the real life Chief Brody.
Is he going to feed 1%ers to sharks? Because then he's got my vote for re-election.
There's a lot of 1%ers on in the Oak Bluffs area. So
Quite a few. Well, good for him.
Yeah, that's fun.
and
I wanna
now
be a sheriff.
all I thought of was I watched Jaws so often that me and the whole Jaws nation, every time now that's on, somebody's going to turn to somebody else. You know, that guy was the sheriff now. That guy's
God,
now.
yes. And you'll tell it to somebody for the 5th time. They're like, I know. Enough.
And Sheridan will be like, "Oh, I know a great drinking word for Jaws."
Get ready for next week. Well, congratulations.
That's it. So that, my friends, is all the news that's fit to print. Let's talk about what we watched.
Please.
We have such sights to show you.
Welcome to Curation Nation. Blumhouse, what you got for me?
I have 2 very good things. Very, very good. As a man who wrote a book called Hellhole, did not like the title. There is a movie called Hellhole from the 80s. Jack, you're going to get turgid over this. Do you know who the star of Hellhole is?
Why would I? Let me see.
Think of twins in the 80s.
Oh, Landers
Judy Landers is in this movie.
from Vegas herself.
So Judy is actually they weren't twins because Audrey was a
Well,
little
they
bit
were
older.
sisters. Close enough.
Close enough. Ray Sharkey is in this as well. Ray Sharkey, Jason, he was big in Wise Guy. He always played like scummy kind of bad guys. In this, he's a killer named Silk who is screamingly funny every time he's on screen, whether he means to be or not.
Died at age 40.
Of AIDS, yes.
Oh.
Mary Warnow is in this as the evil doctor performing experiments on people in a mental hospital.
Oh, Edie Williams.
Edie Williams is there. Marjo Gortner, who played the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers in The Day of the Animals. No, The Food of the Gods. He's in this movie.
Robert Zadar is in this?
Robert
Holy
Zadar is a guard in this kind of prison mental home. It's before his face was really big.
shit.
So he wasn't really recognizable in the very beginning. But what happens in this movie, good old Judy Landers, who, by the way, they said, all right, she's going to be our main lead. She can't act to save anyone's life. So we're going to give her 7 lines for an hour and a half. And they did a very good job with that. But she is in the house when her mother is murdered totally murked, and Judy she hits her head or something. I don't know, but she gets amnesia. And what do you do with people in amnesia? With amnesia, you put them in a mental home. So
That's fair.
There's Ray Sharkey on the right. There's Ray Sharkey again. Oh my God, he is bananas in this movie. So she's in there and she can't remember anything. And the woman, Mary Warnoff, the doctor who runs this hospital, is doing weird ass experiments on everybody. And Ray Sharkey is sent to go in the hospital posing as a worker to see if she remembers anything. And if she does, to take her out. The amount of nudity in this movie is beyond Cinemax in the 90s.
Well,
What was this one called again?
Hellhole.
Hellhole.
It was on Tubi. Everybody gets naked but Judy Landers.
As soon as I saw
What?
Edie Williams, I mean, she was in the Andy Sedaris films, and she didn't fail to entertain in those.
Yeah. So if you want to see tons of full frontal female nudity, there was one point it was so extreme I felt like I was watching like an extended segment of Kentucky Fried Movie. It was so nuts. But
By the way, Lutsky says
fun.
you should write a book called Big Bottom.
Yeah, that's my next, followed by Smell the Glove. They're all coming out. They'll be there sooner or later. I just got to figure out how to put a cryptid into the idea. But I'm going to tell you, man, you're going to have a shit ton of fun with Hellhole on Tubi. If it's still there, I watched it a few weeks ago. It was worth it. It's SBIG worthy. It's worthy of everything.
I have never heard of this.
I hadn't either, and I was a Landers fan back in the day.
I wonder what Judy Landers is up to these days.
I don't know, but it's funny because she was wearing very tight clothes in the beginning, and then once she entered the hospital, she was in hospital gowns and no makeup. Like everyone else looked really good, and they made her look really bad. I guess it was to give her like some chance to really shine from behind the glitz and glamour, but didn't work.
Well
Where'd you
done,
watch
Hellhole.
this? Tubi?
I watched it on Tubi, of course.
Of course, where all good movies are.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
All right, nap starter. Wake up.
This was a lean week. I watched an episode and a half of television and listened to some of a podcast, and that was it. So
Jesus.
it's been a busy week. I started Squid Game. I don't know if you guys watched this.
I haven't watched it yet.
I didn't because everyone else liked it, so I said I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, you're such a contrarian. That doesn't
I
surprise
am.
me. Yeah, I hadn't gotten to it yet. I watched the first episode and a half, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be horror so far, but there is a lot of blood and a lot of death. So, maybe kind of more thriller, mystery, horror adjacent. I don't know. It depends where it goes so far, but the first episode and a half have like some serious hooks in it to keep you going. So I know I'm one of 3 people who haven't watched it because the other 2 are here, but I'll let you know how
Yay.
it goes as I finish it over the next 6 months.
There's so many shows that I have to check off the list, and I never even remember that one when I'm like, what should be the next show? Like, it's moved so far off the radar.
Yeah, that was the thing. I had like 45 minutes, and Tina says it's horror-ish. Okay. I kind of had a feel that, there's a lot of blood at least. So, yeah, it's pretty good so far. I'm looking forward to finishing it.
I feel like I watched it because everyone around me talked about it so much. I'm like, and then they would go,
Awesome.
"Oh, are you watching it?" I'm like, "No, I don't care. Say whatever you want."
I knew nothing about it.
I had some very good calamari 2 weeks ago. That was good
Ooh.
for me. Or as I like to say, galamad.
Galamad, yeah, you got to say it right with some mozzarella.
So, Hunter, what I watched this week will interest you.
Okay.
There's a movie called The House in Between. The reason I use quotes is because it's really kind of like a long episode of Ghost Hunters without any commercials. It's a documentary about a haunted house. I believe it's in Mississippi.
Mhm.
That Steve Gonzalez, or Gonzalez, however you say his name, from the Ghost
Yeah.
Hunters, he stars
Right.
and directs the movie.
No way, Steve.
So
Look at
there's
that.
this house that this woman built in the 90s. And while they were building it, weird stuff would happen. She built it, and then more weird stuff would happen. Doors would slam, other stuff like that. She had a couple of guys, two different like paranormal investigators for years investigating this house. And then finally they contacted Steve, who comes down and does the ghost hunters. They set up 4 cameras.
Hope there were no spiders. You know how
no
you get
spiders, which I thought it was prime spider territory. And some they capture some stuff. There's some doors closing, there's some lights flashing, and there's a cool baseball going down the stairs kind of thing. So on a surface level, I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. But it started to piss me off a little bit because
no answers.
They're so unscientific about it that, remember the show Fact or Faked?
Oh, my daughters and I used to love watching that show with their fake ass science experiments.
But at least they were appearing to try. There's some stuff you see a door close or something like that on its own or whatever, and they'll we went to the other side and banged on the wall, and could this have happened? Whatever. They never once set up a camera on the other side of the door so you can see both sides at the same time.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Right. So there was stuff like that I'm like, all right, whatevs. But if you're into the paranormal shows, the ghost hunter shows and stuff like that, it's not the most blow you away kind of thing, but it's definitely an interesting little thing. It's only like an hour and 10 minutes. So
where'd you watch it?
I think it was on Prime.
I'm
or
going to watch it.
You should watch it.
Help myself.
But I'm curious about the whole thing. The stuff with the baseball is really cool. But again, I'm just going, for God's sakes, these people are called experts, and then that's because they know that 75% of the people who watch these shows, oh my God, the door closed. There's clearly paranormal activity here. Couldn't have been wind.
Well, an EMF meter is science, and that's all the science you need.
Science.
I see there's a sequel coming out June 21st.
To that?
Get ready, Jack.
The House in Between 2.
Oh, boy. All right. So sign me up.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I was at a fair, a little county fair in Maine years ago, and I was dressed in a Taps t-shirt and a Taps hat. And at the time, I had dark beard and everything, and this woman swore to God I was Steve from Ghost Hunters and starts telling me her ghost story. Then my wife comes over and was not happy that this strange girl was sidling up to me and calling me Steve. I walked away. She's like, why'd she call you Steve? You giving her a fake name? I said, no, she thinks I'm the guy from Ghost Hunters. I said, whatever. I heard her story. It was good enough for me.
Oh, Hightower's in the chat.
Yes.
Hightower, do you have Peacock? Because we didn't call Hightower about this movie because we didn't think she had Peacock.
We didn't assume that Peacock extended into bourbon country.
That's not something that most people have.
No.
I mean, she dodged a bullet either way.
Yes.
Yeah, no, we did her a solid right here. Not that we want to spoil what's going to happen next. It's and she does not have Peacock. See, there we go. It's my turn.
Yep.
Oh, I went to the movies on my birthday alone and saw Everything Everywhere All at Once. And when the movie ended, there was a huge standing ovation. That's how good this movie is. I remember seeing the coming attraction, just going, I don't know what the hell that movie is. I've seen the movie. I'm still not sure what this movie is. It stars Michelle Yeoh. Yo, mother effer. There is some kung fu shit going on in here. It also stars, now I knew Jamie Lee Curtis was in it. And I'm sure you've seen the pictures of her looking all doughy with the tight shirt and like the Dutch boy haircut. I figured, I mean, that's the thing she was going for. So I figured she'd be in it for 2 minutes. She's in the whole movie because Michelle Yeoh, who is this woman married, she's married to the dude from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Short round. This is like his first movie in years.
Yeah. So
No time for love, Dr. Jones.
she's married to him. They have a 20-something, maybe late teenage daughter who's a lesbian, but afraid to come out to her grandfather. Anyway, they run a laundromat, and it's not doing so well. And they're going to the tax assessor, Jamie Lee Curtis, working for the IRS.
Is this Barnard here? What's happening?
It could be. Once they get into the Jamie Lee Curtis's office, it then flips into this whole multiverse thing. And Michelle Yeoh is just in one of her limitless lives, and they're all kind of intersecting. And there's a very bad person who's at the center of it. Everything goes in this movie. Everything. The title can't be any more appropriate. And it's slipping in between all these different kind of worlds, just slipping in and out of her. And she has different abilities in each one, and she's trying to like pull those abilities into this world. Oh, there's Jamie Lee Curtis. Good God. I mean, good God. In one of the multiverses, Michelle Yeoh and Jamie Lee Curtis are lovers. They have long sausages for fingers in this world. There's a lot of sausage finger touching. It's the kung fu and shit in this is amazing when it pops up. Everything is amazing. This is this is the best movie I'm going to see this year by far.
Huh. So I saw a trailer for this, I think when we went to see X, and I was like, what the hell did I just watch? Just in the trailer.
There's
I
no
don't even
way a
understand what the
trailer
story is.
Yeah, there's no way a trailer can even express 1/10 of what this movie is about. So
yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about this, and this is on my to-do list.
Huh.
My Lord, such a good movie. I was so glad I went.
You just saw it. Where'd you go? Which theater?
The Alamo.
I wonder if other theaters have it still.
They might. It's still playing around here, but like in small, like select theaters right now.
Yeah, it's playing at the Avon over here.
But
All
when
right,
I went,
yeah,
it was
try it.
packed, and I was the only person who didn't jump to his feet. I'm thinking nobody's here to hear this applause, but if you feel it moved you,
Clapping in movie theaters always. I'm just like, what's wrong with you? You're clapping for yourself? Like, what?
but not just clapping, standing ovation. I was like, wow, that's incredible.
That's what I did in X in that Britney Snow scene.
Bravo!
The slow heroic clap.
Golden knee pad award. So yeah, everything everywhere all at once is the shit.
All right. I started another podcast because I finished whatever in the hell I was listening to that I talked about 2 weeks ago. Shit.
It's so stuck with you.
God damn. So I started the Black Tapes because it was one that was supposed to be similar. And it's about a journalist who gets caught up with this doctor who investigates paranormal stuff, and she starts to look into his cases. And I think it's going to delve into all kinds of ghosts and just basically all kinds of paranormal stuff. It's very highly rated. It's going to take me a while, which is why I'm talking about it now, not waiting till it's over. But I want to say it's 30 episodes, something like that, of 40 minutes a piece, something. So
I listened to like the first 10.
Really?
Yeah.
And you lost interest?
Here's the clue. I listened to the first 10. It didn't grab me. I don't know why.
You listened
but
to
everybody loves it.
400 minutes first. Wow. Okay.
Everybody loves it though. So just
got me all right. Well, you're not giving me a lot of hope. See, I thought of you as soon as they were describing it. I was like, oh, this feels like the Hunter Shea podcast.
Oh, I jumped on it in a second. I was into the first few and I was like, it was getting too weird. I don't know.
Oh,
but
well, everyone
chat people love it. So
yeah, good. All right, you suck. I'll keep listening then.
Yeah, exactly. Just be like every day. Just ignore me. It's fine.
Yeah. And that's all I have. I mean, we watched Joe Bob with you guys, kind of, but that was boring, so I didn't feel like talking about it.
Well, you don't want to give a review on Nosferatu?
No, I don't.
There you go.
No, I don't.
Joe Bob is the wrong setting to watch Nosferatu.
Yes.
God damn it.
All right.
So many movies that Joe Bob should be doing. We need to consult.
No
with him.
kidding. How about Terror Train?
How about it? Would love
All
it.
right. I watched on Shudder a documentary called The Found Footage Phenomenon that just came out.
Oh, I thought of
Oh,
Jason
yeah.
when I saw that.
It's really good. They interview a lot of different people from The Last Broadcast, Blair Witch, a bunch of other movies. So Megan is Missing. A lot of
My
talking
favorite.
heads talking about different things. Saw some clips from movies I've never seen before. So there's a lot of like, oh, I got to catch that one. I got to catch that one. One of the great things that, for me, I always put on I'm watching a found footage movie. So it's almost like it's a lower budget, often amateurish.
Yeah.
They're taking big swings. So it's a different viewing experience than most mainstream movies.
Right.
But there's a lot of like stuff that's just isn't that good or whatever. But by watching this and listening to the filmmakers, it made me appreciate even some of the movies that I'm not that crazy about, because the way they were talking about how they tried to figure things out, or we always made sure that it was justified why they were holding that camera or whatever. Even if they weren't 100% successful, the hearing the earnestness and the thought behind a lot of the stuff was really interesting. And the Megan and Missing guy is very interesting. He's not in it a ton, but every time he talks,
Did they record him from prison where he should
Yeah.
be for making that movie?
Or from under the ground in a barrel.
Yeah. I could have used a couple of more minutes on the Poughkeepsie tapes, but other than that, and they kind of, they touch on Cannibal Holocaust. They give the Blair Witch its due, Paranormal Activity, and it's really interesting because they'll talk about the cultural phenomenon of each, and then sort of how the copycats, then kind of the lull, and then like this movie brings it back, and then so it's a really good watch. I enjoyed it, so I recommend it. It's on Shudder.
Yeah, I want to watch that.
Yeah, me too. I feel like we're about due for another big found footage movie. It's been a while. It's been quite a while.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe another Paranormal Activity movie.
They just did one.
Didn't you have news a couple weeks ago, Jack, that they're remaking it or something? Remaking
Paranormal Activity?
Yeah, I feel like maybe I drink too much.
Yeah,
I thought we talked about
I'm gonna put my money on that one.
I don't know. All right, that's all I got.
Does anyone have anything left?
Anything else?
I'm done.
All right.
All right, let's get to this flaming hot mess that is the main feature.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
I'm your Firestarter, Twisted Firestarter.
It's gonna be our shortest episode ever.
Fire!
You ever hear
How
the
much can
Gene
we
Simmons
sing?
version of Firestarter?
Oh God, no.
Look that up someday.
Really? I think I just keep thinking of Fire from The Cult. That song's been in my head since yesterday.
Song's awesome.
That's a killer song. Can we
All
just
right.
talk about songs with fire in the title? No.
Fine with that.
Smoke on the water, fire in the sky.
Jason, you discovered a way to play special StreamYard canned music. I think that should play it while Jack describes the
Oh, yeah.
Firestarter
Forgot
remake,
about
right?
that.
It's going to liven the episode up.
What do we want here?
Trust
Give
me,
me a beat.
you're all going to love this. This is going to be pleasing to your ear holes.
No.
She was born a Firestarter.
Oh, that's something. I got to
is
find
for-
something
that's
that fits for
that
this
was-
movie.
Yeah, that was for Titan. Sexy fireman dancing.
Would you just pick one, schmuck?
Here you go. It's called Feeding the Ducks. Take this one.
There you go. Oh yeah, Jack.
Yeah. Haha,
Lay it out.
yeah.
Woo!
There's a little girl. She can light a fire. Looking at your eyes, she's Messiah. This movie's about a little girl. She's got some powers. Yeah. She can light them up. Because her mommy and daddy, they got that magic mojo. How, how. But they're the bad guys. The shop. Ain't no cop. It's the shop. They coming to put out that fire of my desire. Firestarter.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is better than the movie. You will get more joy out of that 30 seconds.
Oh,
Than hour and a half.
that was so much more entertaining than any moment of this movie.
All right.
Whew.
So, remember how I was trying to decide if I should watch the original and I ended up doing it?
Yeah.
I'm glad I did because I'm going to go first.
Go.
Where I said, yeah, the original is not the greatest movie in the world, but it was all right. The original is freaking the Shawshank Redemption compared to this. Why did they remake this cheap, no budget, low special effect thing? What a waste of time. The actors are walking through it. The set pieces are small and mediocre, and all the special effects are right out of whatever program they were using to edit this movie. So
Yeah.
I thought that this was such a waste of a remake. That's my initial thoughts on this movie. What do you got?
They used MS Fire to make the fire.
Yeah.
Look, I came in hoping, I actually had a little bit of hope. I'm like, maybe this will be good because Tina had said that the young girl is excellent in it. I was like, all right, if I get a good performance, maybe that can pull it through. My huge complaint with this movie, it looked and sounded like a Lifetime movie.
Yes.
This did not look like a film at all.
Definitely made for TV.
It looked so cheap.
Yeah. I mean, even with John Carpenter doing some of the music, and you could hear his influences, it wasn't enough to pull me through. The performances are Zac Efron. Holy Jesus. Why? I thought the girl was good. Everyone else was asinine, and it was part of their material, part of their ability, I guess.
They used emoticons for fire.
So yeah, I did not like this movie. I will see worse this year. I'm not going to say it's the worst thing I've seen.
It's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
But you're remaking a Stephen King novel movie. So like what's your hook? Like why are you doing this and how are you going to make it better? You don't set out to make something worse. So I don't get it. I don't know why this is made.
Just responding to this comment, missed you too.
Yeah.
I really struggled to pay attention to it. It was, to me, the biggest sin was it was so bland. Like all the acting is very low key. The action is very low key. The look of it, I like the first 30 seconds. I was like, why does this look like it was filmed on a really shitty camera? Because it just,
right.
I don't know. It just everything about it felt toned down. And it just made it really hard for me to watch. It's not the worst made thing it's not the worst made thing I've seen in the last 3 days, but
no,
just nothing connected with me. It just felt lifeless. I mean, Zac Efron might as well have been asleep. I mean, he just didn't care. He did that freaking neck crack thing, and I was like, oh, if he does it one more time.
Well, my wife pointed out that probably Botox and fillers is preventing his face from emoting.
Okay.
That's her theory.
I'm glad you said something. He seemed like he looked different. I don't know if it was just the beard or I just don't remember what he looks like, but I was like, he looks different.
Yeah, definitely. He was pretty bad. And when that ended, it rolled right into the original Firestarter. I don't know if it did that for you. You probably shut it off as soon as possible.
Oh my God, instant.
I had to get up to pee when I came back.
So
the original Firestarter, you got Heather Locklear in the very beginning, who it's like looking into the sun. She's so stunning. Right there, you beat it. So
I forgot about that.
Well, the first movie picks up and they're on the run and the pace just goes nonstop. It slows down in the middle when they get captured, but it starts off they're on the run and it's great. It pulls you right in. This meanders and meanders. But from watching the first one, the thing that jumped out at me was the practical effects. There's so much fire in that movie. There's fireballs flying across the yard, hitting a house. Guy gets thrown into a tree.
Right.
I don't think any actual fire was in this movie. No fire was harmed in the making of this movie.
No, none whatsoever.
No, didn't look like it to me.
I mean, when that cat was on fire, like there was not an ounce of real fire.
By the way, why is it okay to kill cats all the time, but you can't kill a freaking dog?
Because they have 9 lives. They'll come back.
Oh, yeah. Or because cats are pure evil.
Yeah, sure.
You saw that little bastard scratch her. I mean, that's just real life.
I go, another cat dead, nobody cares. I'm getting
They make General Meow's chicken.
That scene is a great example of the movie just lacking punch in any way, shape, or form. A cat was burned horribly and is lying on the ground in misery and dying. And even the sound effects of it were nothing.
And they talk for like 5 minutes about we really should put this to
right.
It's really like, yeah, are you sure? Maybe we should talk.
That should have been a horrific scene. Instead, I was like, God, I'm gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, use your powers. Remember what I told you not to do your entire life? Use your powers. Right. He was a shitheel of a dad.
Yeah.
The original, you knew he loved her. I don't get that from this. He was just a jerk of a human being.
You know what's great when you're trying to keep a girl calm is to yell, "Keep calm down."
Oh, it always worked with my kids.
It works with everyone.
Maybe punch a wall while they're really getting upset. That'll calm them right down.
Oh, Tina's saying they shot it with an Arri Alexa Mini, which is a really good camera. So yeah, they must have intentionally dulled the look of it.
Good idea.
Why?
Maybe it was shot too bright.
Who's cooler than Tina right now? Because I have no idea what that was.
Tina knows her shit. That's why we should have her on one time. Tina, you're watching right now. Drop it in the comments if you want to be on the show. I think she'd make a great co-host.
Be the new Tim Meyer punching bag.
Should kick our ass.
Yeah, no, I don't beat her up.
Yeah, the dynamic in the first one, Heather Locklear is like a flashback. And in this, the mother is more of a player in it. But I'll tell you, the other thing that really bothered me about this was the George C. Scott bad guy, who's the Native American guy in this.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we'll talk about the ending in a minute, but
what is his arc?
There is a great in the original one. He's like a psychopath who likes to kill people by hitting them in the bridge of the nose with his hand and watching the light go out.
Right.
And he meets her when she's imprisoned, gains her trust because she's like an 8-year-old. And really, he's the most evil out of all of them. And that is part of the great tension of that movie is that you're like, oh, don't trust him. And this, the guy was just so bland and he had powers and the whole thing's been done better in XMen movies, you know?
What were his powers too? I didn't.
Yeah, by the way, what were his powers? They did not show them in this movie.
He could make voices or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he was he reading her mind or making. I was like at the end, I'm like, what?
Yeah. His story makes no sense whatsoever. He turns on a dime for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't even understand why us as viewers should give a shit about him turning good at the end. It's like we watched him kill the mom at the beginning. Fuck this guy. Like
nothing was done that he didn't know was going to be done to cause him to have a change of mind. Oh, it
Oh
doesn't
yeah, I
matter.
just spoiled it. Don't watch this anyway.
We are helping America right now.
We are.
Oh god, I completely forgot about spoilers.
So let's talk about that because that was
Bell's rung. Say whatever you
he
want.
kills the mother. The father who says, "I'm never going to push my daughter with my mental powers," pushes his daughter with the mental powers at the end. So when she finally does rage, it's really not her; it's her father.
Mm-hmm. True.
But then he also at one point had said, "Don't be like me. I regret killing people." So then she's got the guy who killed her mother, and she spares him. But then if she's just spared him, that's one thing. But then when he picks her up like Frankenstein and carries her off at the end,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, not killing him is one thing. Teaming up with him,
Well, he takes
That's
her
dad now.
hand and they walk down the beach. And then the credits come up. My wife goes, "Is that the end of the fucking movie?" She goes, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I'm like, "I don't know. I didn't make it."
I heard on a podcast today somebody say that they were thinking about possibly sequels or like some sort of continuation of this. I was like, what?
No. So they're gonna be like little X-Men. She'll be Kitty Pryde, and he'll be.
Let me tell you something. The
don't
original
know.
Drew Barrymore movie is a moment in time, and there wasn't a ton of mutant movies. The kid in X-Men 2 who can control fire, there's that scene when they're outside of Iceman's house with all the cops, and he goes off until Rogue can get him. That is such a better way to do this movie. Like, his use of fire was terrifying.
One might say the better way was the first way it had been done.
Yes.
With Drew Barrymore.
I just don't understand. I mean, you made a great point. The father has the whole scene where he talks about how he killed two men and how much, it affected him or whatever. And then immediately makes her slaughter dozens of people.
Yes, in many ways.
Wouldn't it have made more sense if she saw him die and then rampages rather than him making her do it after saying not to do it?
Thank you.
What is this writing?
And all right, so we take that from a writing standpoint, and then let's take it into like I don't know, cinematography is the right word for it, but the climax of this movie is like in a hallway where she just like yells fire at people.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been taking place in a crowded movie theater because that's really the worst place to yell fire. But in the original one, the barn is burning down. She's shooting fireballs at the house. The guy gets thrown into the tree. Like I said, this a couple of hallways of fake fire, and that's the conclusion. I'm like, this is the Blumhouse remake,
and the bad guy gets shot by Ranger.
A smaller, quieter Firestarter movie.
I'm guessing the budget for this was almost non-existent. But then why cast Zac Efron? Why not? Because he probably took up a huge chunk of the budget. Just put a no-name actor in there and like ramp up the action a little bit.
Yeah.
How about the woman who was in charge of the unit thing?
Was that Mario Lopez instead of Zac Efron?
That woman was. I'm like, she's.
Oh, the one from ER.
Oh my good.
Again,
gravy.
imagine who played Amanda Waller on the Suicide Squad. Viola Davis.
Yeah. Well,
you need a Viola Davis kind of like, intimidating, powerful, presence. Not this like sweet.
She was cartoony. I don't know. It was almost like the kind of performance where like you got every like African American lead guy in a cop shop screaming at everybody who walks in the door. It just seemed, I don't know, by rote, and she was not good.
Even when she was in was it a hospital or whatever? I was so bored, I was starting to have trouble paying attention. She's talking to the old guy.
Red from that 70s show.
Yeah, why was he in this movie for 5 seconds?
I always think of him as the dude from was it Total Recall?
RoboCop.
No, RoboCop. Even when she was talking to him, the way she was framed, she was like at the edge of the frame talking off of it. I was like, what is the artistic like, what are we going for here? I was just like, why is this shot so weirdly? I don't know. I didn't.
Maybe they weren't
I-
actually together.
I have a lot of questions. Like, it was just.
I wanted him to call her a dumbass and to get out of his room. That's
And then
what
the
I
other
wanted.
thing, going back to the what's that guy's name? Rainmaker, whatever the bad guy's name was.
Hogzilla.
They attack the house, and then the girl runs off into the field. Zac Efron mind bends him or whatever, and so he loses her for a second. Then Zac Efron gets knocked out, so he sees the girl run into the woods. They've got all these. I think that was the SWAT team guys are there. Nobody goes after the girl in the woods. They're like, nah,
No.
she's at least 400 yards away.
Couldn't possibly get her.
I mean, that's if I was on the SWAT team. Like,
yeah. I just had a heavy lunch.
just
I could sit this one out.
call the other guys and tell them to come from the other way.
with her 8-inch stride, she must have been 100, 150 feet away, by the
Yeah.
time,
And then she has the training montage in the woods of 3 fires that she lights.
Oh
to
my!
master
I was
her
like,
powers.
she lit a fire. She's ready, world. Mastered
she
her
was-
powers.
in the woods for like 6 hours.
I'm the best around.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
Even when she was running and whatever the hell the dad's character's name, Efron, he does his X-Men, his Xavier things to make her disappear. He doesn't just make it look like she ran a different direction. He makes everything around the guy disappear so the guy knows he's being screwed with.
Yeah.
What?
And then he's like bragging, like "gotcha, sucker" or something, as he's laying on the ground. I'm like, no, you didn't, because he just actually saw her where she went.
Like, I think she actually disappears while he's looking at her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what?
He fooled nobody. And by the way,
Like, that was the
they've been
worst plan ever.
They've been looking for this girl for so long, and they were only like an hour away this entire time, because it took her no time to walk to the place. So
Right.
they were in the same zip code, probably.
It's
this
like
entire time.
Roadhouse, where Dalton lives across the river from the bad guy.
It's like, oh, okay. They've been on the run. Well, how far are they going? Oh, well, there's a house across the street. We could rent that next. No one will know.
Yeah. They were saying that they were on the run, and they had described being on the run. But when the mom is burned and the girl calls the cops after an incident in school, and they're still in the house, how much are you actually on the run?
Not much.
Yeah, they're like I guess they're in Maine and they're trying to get to Boston. They go to that guy's house, which is the Art Carney mislead.
The Art Carney
turns out-
mislead. That's the name of my next book.
Hey there, Ralphie. And then the turns out the guy's wife is on a ventilator in the back
Yeah.
room.
Quadriplegic,
she
I
can
guess.
She's got more than Firestarter powers because she has a parent's
Well, she can do everything.
psychic. Yeah, she can
Yeah.
do everything.
Push
So
it all.
she's totally like Dark Phoenix.
Yes, which I just reread that over the weekend.
Oh, did you watch the new X-Men movie, Dark Phoenix?
Oh,
No,
Yeah, don't.
never gonna.
this
I'm
is
sorry.
better than that. This is better than the Dark Phoenix movie.
Holy
Yeah,
cow!
I'd rewatch this before I watch that again.
I would watch
I
this 10
mean-
times.
John Byrne and Chris Claremont gave you perfection. Just recreate those panels in a movie.
They keep screwing it up. It's amazing.
Unreal. But look, after all that we say, it's not the worst movie we're gonna watch.
No,
It was
No,
just-
it's.
it just committed
My-
the mortal sin of being bland and boring.
Can you
Right.
imagine if we went to the theater? Because this is in theaters too.
No,
it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's insane.
It's, to me, if you're going to remake a movie, have something special that you didn't get the first time around. Like, what are you going to do that was missed? What's your twist going to be on it? Do you have better, like nowadays, special effects? But no, nothing. There's nothing in this better than the original.
The dad dies, and I'm not even sure the girl gave a shit at the end of the movie. Like,
Yeah. Well, he didn't care too much about the wife either. By the way,
He handled it well.
The wife is, if she falls out of the laundry room or whatever, I don't think he really checked to see if she was alive or dead before they ran out of the burning house. It's like, see ya.
Yeah, everybody was okay with it.
He could have
They were
picked
all right.
her up. Bad husband, bad father.
Yeah. That falling out of the thing was a callback to the original movie.
Yeah, but check.
I know. I mean, listen.
Or scoop her up, because the girl could walk. She didn't need to be carried.
I don't know. The little girl was fine, but I'm telling you, Drew Barrymore had that charisma. And that she was younger, so she was more innocent. So
I agree. The little bit that I saw of the original, I was like, oh, Drew Barrymore was much better. Oh, Michael Clark met Chris Claremont. He's one of the heroes.
Yeah.
I wish.
all right.
Can
So
we,
anything
end
else,
this?
or should we put this fire out?
Hey, this is a great way to celebrate 5 years, right, guys?
Yeah.
We blow out the candle.
Show's over.
Just
Thank
end
God.
this right now. I can't do.
We're
much
gonna
more
have a
of this.
co-host next week. I'm gonna make sure of it. We just have to figure out a movie to torture them with.
Well, you'll know the quality of the film depending on who's on the show.
Although this week was a fake out. Chad wasn't here.
Yeah, it was a fake out. You're right.
That's good. We
Hey.
keep you on your toes.
All right. So we'll figure out what we're going to watch. Like and share and do all that good stuff for us once the podcast goes up. And any suggestions for movies, send them to us, and we may or may not bite,
Yeah.
but we'll
Need
take
something.
a look.
Need something interesting, please.
And with
Yeah.
that, thanks for joining us for Firestarter Do.
Duty.
Bye.
Duty.